Good afternoon, Mr. Ardinas. Good afternoon, my fellow classmates. We are the Group 1, and for this afternoon, we're going to talk about Asian regionalism. So, as we go along the said topic, the following are expected to be discussed. First is what is the definition of Asian regionalism, followed by answering the question on about why Asian regionalism exists, and the third or the last one is examples of Asian regionalism. So, without further ado, let us now start our reporting.
Definition: what is regionalism? And strengthening collective identity of nations occupying a particular geographic area or aiming at shared goals, increase in economic exchanges in particular area. It can also refer to decentralizations of political powers or competences from a higher towards a lower political level. From the this second sentence, I will explain. Refers to decentralizations of political powers. I will give an example here in the Philippines. We have a national issues and we have a regional issues. A national issues it was cover up all the issue over overall the country. And if we talk about the regional, uh, it also a issue in in a main specific area or place, and that is under decentralization or decentralized in political powers down towards a political level. In the first sentence, and strengthen, uh, from the word strengthen, there's a strong collective identity of nations. There's a relationship. There's a relationship. There's a relationship between the all a before between all the Asian country occupying a particular geographic or area that aiming that aiming or objective that shared goals. Like examples, we, we like examples we share our opinion or idea, because that is regionalism. We share our idea to our to our individual, so that so that our so that our objective was faster, and we will accomplish it and increase our economic exchanges in our area. And that is all, and that is the regionalism idea.
Hi, my name is Nabgio Soriano. I'm here to talk about the history of Asia regionalism. So, after the Cold War, the relations between nations has been dynamic and unique. So, I can say that the Cold War was stepping stone for countries to have dynamic interrelations with other hands having a growing economy. Second is, as a result, countries tend to rely on global platforms such as the United Nations in resolving regional conflicts, thus paving the way for the emergence of peacekeeping initiatives and regional trade alliances. So many organizations were created after the war because countries want to coincide with one another for economic security and growth. So the third is regionalism in Asia developed toward the end of the Cold War with the creation of various regional institutions for nearly 2 decades after 1980s. So due to many circumstances that occurred during Cold War, many events happened including the creation of regionalism or the process of regionalization. So, in conclusion, ang kaning Cold War dili lang kay puro negative na hitabo but also as a result sa war na naasay mga agreements sa mga countries which is very good para sa economy and sa society kay feel safer and more secure ilang life. Kay tungod sa mga organization na naay goals for economic success. That's all.
So, good evening everyone. I'm Engine Cadet Humangin Kenneth. I'm discussing all about history. I'm continue all about topics by Engine Cadet NAP. So, first is Asian regionalism was activated following the decline in United States power and rise of China as a global power, and the international liberal orders retreat became visible towards the end of the 2000. So because China rises their global power, they have trade and technology advancement, and hegemony in the international politics is escalating. So next is each regional power is adopting the institutional hedging strategy to ensure that their individual interests are satisfied and the regional order is comfortable the escalate. So because regional institutions have become important as measure of regional power for countries, institutional hedging strategies to overcome challenges posed by the beginning of regional uncertainties, and that Asian regionalism is here active today than ever before. So that is my topic all about. Thank you.
So next is, what is Asian regionalism? Asian regionalism is the product of economic interaction. Asian focus on exporting to developed country markets rather than selling. Asian economies have grown not only richer but also closer together. One of the example is the ASEAN, or Association of Southeast Asian Nations. Its purpose is to promote economic and cultural exchange among its member countries, and also maintain peace and stability in Southeast Asia. There are other Asian maritime companies that their ship is built in the Philippines. In exchange, they select their crew, mostly Filipinos. Other example also is that exporting some goods in neighboring countries in Asia rather than in the US or Europe.
Okay, so the next topic is answering the question why Asian regionalism exists. So once again, my name is Engine Cadet Vincent Alvarico, and I am part of the Group 1. So in answering this question, we will have to look at two reasons. So first is growth and integration, and the second one is about interdependence. So speaking of growth and integration, Asian regionalism emerged as a backdrop of a remarkable economic development. So what this means is that because of existing trade system among Asian countries for decades, they were able to regulate their corresponding markets, which resulted to a sustainable economic growth, thus promoting development not only for one country but also for those countries involved as well. So as you can see, the graph in the right shows that because of Asian regionalism, Asian countries were able to improve their economies. Well, in fact, if you will compare Asia's economy to the rest of the world, it can be clearly observed that Asian economies are growing at an average of 5% per year as compared to the economies of the rest of the world. So, next slide, please. Okay, so the next one is about interdependence. So this can be a reason for Asian regionalism to form in a way that because Asian countries tend to import and export their products towards their neighboring countries, they tend to develop the sense of being interwoven with those countries involved to ensure that they get their demands and at the same time supply the demands of the other countries involved. So, these days, with the exploitation of resources and increase of demands around the world, Asian countries need reassurance towards their neighboring countries to maintain the equilibrium of resource trade. So, Asian regionalism can be viewed as one of those ways. So, as you can see, the graph on the right shows the level of interdependence among powerful continents. And it can be clearly seen that Asia is as interdependent as Europe and North America in terms of trade as years go by. So that's it for my report. So let's now proceed to the next reporter.
So next is the dynamics of Asian regionalism. What does dynamics mean? It refers to a pattern or process, changes, growth, marked by usually continuous and productive activity. So, what are the dynamics of Asian regionalism? First is the enhanced dialogue between citizens of various nations, facilitated by growing tourism activities in the region and consistent multilateral meetings among the leaders of nation states. Example of this is the connectivity between nations are elevated through the Asia use of programs among the nation leader, such as United Nations, where leaders made enormous positive contributions in maintaining international peace and security, promoting cooperations among states and international development. So second is expanding the intra-regional trade and investment, bring forth the closer financial market and independent economies. So Asia has given the world valuable economic lessons on the benefits of trade liberalization, where the market forces lead economies toward improved efficiencies and increased productivity. The high economic growth rates of Asia were driven by the export strategies which paved the way of become the newly industrialized economies of the region. So lastly, increased connectivity, facilitated by regional infrastructure projects as well as the delivering public goods. Regional infrastructure projects are increasingly connectivity, and countries are working together to provide regional public goods in areas such as environmental health. Enhancing regional integration and cooperation is important to build stronger and more resilient economies. So, all in all, emerging Asian regionalism offers a new platform for economic development that is good for individual economies, good for Asia, and good for the world. It is partnership for shared prosperity. So that's all. Thank you. Next reporter.
Good day everyone, I am Engine Cadet Kim Kimatilio to discuss about the benefits of regionalism. So first is harness the strength of diverse economies, meaning regional cooperation is effectively structured. So it can help in Asia address regional challenges as well provide stronger foundation of all us. So it can help the rule and integrated Asian link competitive strength, diverse and economy. So kung naa din na ang benefits of Asian regionalism day kitang mga tao mas mulambo pag ay ta niya. Second is an integrated Asian can provide a platform for connecting financial markets, meaning it connects the region capital markets. So niya it improves opportunity sharing, risk, and it contributes efficiency the stability of global financial markets by making Asian capital markets stronger, the safer, maximizing the producing of Asia. So the third is the economy more realistic to the global risk, meaning Asian grouping has taken step to diverse source globality and demand. So helping to stabilize the world economy and damage the rest proposed to the global to the demand imbalance and downtown in the other economies. So and the fourth is it pulls resources, it builds connected to the structures, collaborate on the benefits. So it creates regional mechanism to manage health, safety, and environmental issues better, thus contribute of regional integration deserves to high priority in national. So it will make required trust, innovation, and compromise to likely time policy makers and highest leadership in the Asia. So that there are not yet part of the region integrating core indeed in relative. So this benefits from development and it provides hints an important aim to study and it's to make the case integration not yet to adopt outward oriented development strategy to provide and case for integration countries that have not yet adapted and to build stronger regional connections and how regionalism benefits the world the rest to the world that could, and benefits to long and integrate not just each other but also the rest the world. That's it.
Sir and classmates, I am Engine Cadet Stewart de Labanes. My topic is examples of Asian regionalism. So first, Asian Pacific Economic Cooperation or APEC has 21 member countries. And since we have limited time, I will give 5 examples and those are Canada, Thailand, Chinese Taipei, Philippines, and China. The primary goal of APEC is to support sustainable economic cooperation and prosperity in the Asia-Pacific region. And for the objective of APEC is to enhance positive gain both for the regions and the world economy. So the second example in East Asia Summit, it has 18 member countries and some example are Indonesia, Philippines. Third goals aims to provide the platform for dialogue on broad strategy in aiming of peace, stability, and economic prosperity in East Asia. And their main objective is to ensure that the efforts of the East Asia Summit to promote the formations of community in the regions. And the third examples has the same member countries APEC had become Asian Pacific Community was related in and invented by APEC. They also have the same goal and objectives. The first example in East Asia Community, which has 6 countries, and those are China, Japan, Mongolia, North Korea, South Korea, and Taiwan. And their goal is to advancing human security, particular by facilitating regional efforts for environmental protection and good governance. For the objectives, it fostering the identity of East Asian community. So the fifth example is associations of Southeast Asian nation, which has 10 member, and our country, the Philippines, is also one of the member of it. So, and the goal is to founding fathers of improving the lives of its people and reflected on the region's economic cultural development. So for the objective in Asians to promote regional peace and stability through the abiding respects for justice and the rule of law in terms of countries in the regions. And the last example is Asian Plus 3, which consists of China, Japan, Korea, is also a member of this organization. The goal of objective is of Asian Plus 3 will also promote greater people encouragement and cooperation on people-to-people connectivity initiatives and to advocate the supports and the developments enhancements of national. So, to sum up all the examples of Asian regionalism, the benefits of becoming a member of this organization bring a huge benefits not just to Asia but to the world. It could help sustain the region's growth underpin its stability and with the right policy reduce inequality.
So that's it for our report about Asian regionalism. So once again, we are the Group 1 and I hope that you have learned something from us today. Once again, good afternoon and have a nice day.